Oh, welcome to the Rob Bro Show. I am Rob Bro. I am the host. You are the co-host. You can co-host today by commenting on the starting line chat line. The starting line chat line brought to you by Starting Line Counseling. As always, Chase is a double graduate of Texas Tech. A free 15-minute consultation there on the website, startinglinecounseling.com. If you're going through it, you don't know what to do, if you need some help, or you're trying to make a big life decision, you need some counseling, you need some guidance, Chase is there for you. Or he can find somebody that is. It's not that you just have to choose one. You choose somebody, and Chase can help you out. All right. Red Raiders lose last night. That game sucked. Let's do a couple of venues here, or avenues, not venues. I left the letter off. Do a couple of avenues of thought here. Let's separate a few of the things that happened and just talk. Let's just talk basketball, okay? Just basketball. Warren Washington out. You got words I can't say on this show. I could
family show.
The FCC is not a part of this, but family show. I try to keep it clean. You dropped the soap last night down low, and Dylan Desu and Shedrick just tore you apart. You had no answer. Robert Jennings, after his foul trouble, no answer. Kyron Lindsey, as dynamic as he was in one game offensively, he is just not a great defender. And Yahalo really didn't play enough minutes, but he wasn't doing anything either down low. You were just getting pieced. Absolutely pieced down low. And that set the tone. It set the tone for the game, and you couldn't recover. You didn't recover from Dylan Desu's first 6 points.
Yeah.
It was just like, they're going to kill us down low. All right, maybe next time. And they played like that the rest of the game. So it was, 30-point victory, 20-point victory, whatever it was. I mean, now you technically, Carson, won the end of the game.
You only lost by 12.
Hey, you fought hard. Right. It got up by 29.
Yeah.
You lost by 12. That's what I was getting to. You fought hard at the end. Right? You never stop fighting. You got it going. Look, when the other team's up by 30, they don't play as hard.
No.
Of course you're going to fight at the end. So, lost by 12. Could have been 30. Should have been 30. Bad game. Bad game.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? We talked about it on Monday. I said that if Warren Washington doesn't play, it's not going to be great, and that Dylan Desu is going to have a great game because he's just a good player down low. Especially if you can't defend him, and Robert Jennings is not a great defender. Kyron Lindsey definitely can't defend right now, and Yalaho is still rough and ragged too. So Desu is going to have a good game. It was all dependent upon, can you shut down Max Asmus? He has not been playing well at all lately. And you did not. Max Asmus played really well. Dylan Desu played absolutely fantastic. And then Shedrick off the bench played well. Dylan Mitchell played really well, got on the boards a lot. You didn't block out at all. I take it to you're down. The score is 20-14, I think. And then you go down and you make a little bit of a run to come back. You're only down by 9, I believe it is at this point. I can't remember the exact score. And they go to the line to shoot 2. They miss the first one. Desu misses the first one, misses the second one. Nobody blocks out Dylan Mitchell. He gets an easy rebound, kicks it out. Max Asmus hits a 3. Instead of a 9-point lead or 9-point deficit, you're down. Now you're down 12. Because you gave up an easy offensive rebound that nobody even touched Dylan Mitchell on, and he made you pay for it by kicking out to Max Asmus, and he knocked it down a wide open shot. So that's just how last night went in a nutshell for Texas Tech. You didn't shoot it well. Pop Isaacs did not play well at all. Robert Jennings gave you 20 minutes, but 4 points, 4 rebounds in 20 minutes for Robert Jennings. That's not good enough from a big man. Darian Williams played hard the whole game. I'm not saying any of these guys didn't play hard, but Kerwin Walton still looks a little banged up a little bit. He doesn't move as well on the perimeter like he has been to get open shots like he was earlier in the Big 12 slate. Joe Toussaint was, another 13-point game. But, I mean, you just look across the board, too many turnovers from Texas Tech, too. There's not a lot on the stat line because there's only 9, but there's too many turnovers and key opportunities on offensive possessions that at the time you couldn't go without a good offensive possession. So it just is what it is at that point. Texas beat the crap out of you, fair and square. Texas was the better team in the building. And Texas Tech, they're just not good without Warren Washington. Let's face it. Texas Tech is not a complete basketball team without Warren Washington. We talked about it when Devin Cambridge went out. Can Warren Washington weather the storm? He definitely has. He's made the big improvement. He's been great on the defensive side in Big 12 play. He's been great on the boards in Big 12 play. He's been a double-double machine for you in conference play for the most part.
When he affects all 3 levels because you get the tension down low. When you don't care about what's going on down low and you don't respect the offensive game, they can assault your guards like crazy.
Yeah. And that's what they do. They set out on the perimeter. And they guard the perimeter, and it's hard to shoot whenever there's hands in your faces all night long. So, Warren Washington makes a big deal, and that's why I'm not, there's a ton of people on Twitter that are pressing the panic button saying we suck. And when you say we, it bothers me because you're not on that team. You're just a fan. Be a fan. Right. You can say, well, Texas Tech basketball is not good anymore. That's fine, but they are still a good team. They're just not a complete team right now. Chance McMillan played 33 minutes, but I still think he's 80% last night. Didn't look as quick and as shifty as Chance McMillan usually does. And on the defensive end too, he couldn't guard the best players on the other side either. So, and that's usually what Chance McMillan can do on the defensive side. So it just altogether, you're not healthy right now. And this, you can say that I'm making excuses, but you're not healthy. Your best player who makes the biggest difference on this team is out. And it makes a huge difference to have Warren Washington. It just does.
Yeah.
Because you don't have any other big that can fill that void. Like Warren Washington filled the void of Devin Cambridge, right? Even though Cambridge is a bit of a different big than Warren Washington is, he can step out and shoot and all those things.
That other guys fill in, like Darian Williams.
Right. Darian Williams has played big.
He's doing a lot of things that Cambridge did. Cambridge was really playing the 4. Darian Williams has slid into that role perfectly.
Yeah, right.
Even though he was starting as the 3 early in the year. And then you put in Kerwin Walton to that role. So you've shuffled a lot of things around. Now, just basketball, okay? You stunk. You stunk last night.
Yeah, just basketball, you're bad. Mm-hmm. And you got beat, and that happens.
All right. Wash it away. We can move on. Whatever.
Yeah.
Here's my bigger issue. You camped out 72 hours. The crowd is hot. You have Flavor Flav in the building. It's a blackout. Right? Shades of Baylor.
Yeah.
At home 2 years ago with Patrick Mahomes in town. I'm not saying Flavor Flav is Patrick Mahomes, but this is a football, right? They're trying to make a huge deal about it. It just doesn't feel like that big of a deal. It's just Baylor. What are we doing? Huge blackout game. This year, huge deal. 72 hours of camp out.
6-8 Texas.
It's just 6-8 Texas. It's Rodney Terry. It's not Chris Beard coming back.
No.
And I understand it's Texas, but you overhyped the game, and then you came out flat.
Yeah, big time. And flat is an understatement for what you came out.
And that's a terrible combo. Overhyped / flat is a terrible combo. Terrible. And Grant McCasland after the game, everyone's sharing quotes from him. Like, oh, that's so good that he's saying this. We've got a great one. I love that he said this. Hey, man, this is incredible stuff from Grant McCasland. He said, what all coaches say. I didn't have the team prepared. My fault. How is that great? You laid an egg against a rival at home after the students camped out for 72 hours. And it's not his fault. He's injured. The team is injured. I don't think that you could have won that game straight up last night. 10 times out of 10. You might go 500 if you play it 10 times.
You might win 3 out of the 10.
I thought it was an evenly matched game. Even with Warren Washington out, I thought it should have been more competitive. But first of all, it's like a lot of coaches say that. Second of all, it doesn't make me feel any better about the loss. Yeah. It doesn't make me feel any better that a coach says, yeah, my bad.
That's what to your point, that's what every coach said. Like Bill Self said that.
Not every coach, but a lot of coaches.
Bill Self said that whenever they got beat by 30 here in Lubbock. Like, didn't have the team prepared.
By the way, Kansas lost again to BYU last night.
BYU in Lawrence.
At home.
In Lawrence. Yeah. BYU, I'm telling you, BYU is the team that in the March in the tourney, BYU is a team that can, if they catch fire, which they shoot it so well, if you don't defend, BYU will run you out of a building and they will be in the Sweet 16 before you know it.
It's
and then once they get in the Sweet 16,
certainly not because Kansas is overrated and fraudulent.
No, I mean, Kansas might end up with more Big 12 losses this year than they ever have in the Bill Self era. Maybe just ever have, period. So, look, this conference is tough. And like we talk about every single night, every day that we have this conversation is wins are wins, losses are losses. Doesn't matter whether it's by 1 point, 30 points, doesn't matter. Kansas lost at home. Texas Tech lost at home. Baylor has lost at home. Teams have lost on the road. It's tough to do anything in the Big 12. Wins are wins, especially whenever you can go in on the road. Now, Texas Tech splits with Texas. You win in Austin, and then they win here in Lubbock. Okay, cool. Like, you know what? If you have Warren Washington, it might have been different, but if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas, as my grandmother would say. So,
and if you just close your eyes, right, and don't know anything about the context of the games and just look at the Big 12 schedule, you beat them by 10 in Austin, they beat you by 12 in Lubbock.
Right.
You split.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. For sure.
So,
and
it's not a huge deal. And again, you're above 500 in Big 12 play with 3 games left.
One more win is a for sure into the NCAA tournament.
Now, you are not finishing strong so far.
No. Hey, I'd rather you play bad right here and get better in late in March.
But you have Oklahoma State, West Virginia, and Baylor at home. So
that's right.
Anything can happen.
That's right.
Anything can happen. All right, let's talk about the non-basketball stuff. Brock Cunningham absolutely body checks Darian Williams into the announcer's table and into a fan. Did you see who the fan was?
I didn't. Dusty Womble?
Dusty Womble.
Yeah. I saw where it was at, and I just figured that's where Dusty always sits.
I saw the back of his head. I thought, is that Dusty Womble? And I meant to tweet about it, and then
Dusty
I
always
saw him later say, why didn't I get to shoot free throws? And immediately, Fran Fraschilla says, that's just good basketball.
And then he watches the replay.
Because in his mind, right, and we're not beefing with Fran. We've had beef in the past. We're not beefing right now. In his mind,
his pizza.
Brock Cunningham can't do anything wrong.
Right.
He's always every single asshole. Family show. Every single thing that Brock Cunningham does,
Fran Fraschilla loves
out of the realm
and
of basketball. He's like, that's just scrappy play. That's just hard play by Brock Cunningham. He's worth 6 to 7 points a game just because how hard he plays. His box score is 0-0-0, 4 personal fouls.
Yeah.
22 minutes.
And Toolshed below his name.
So immediately, Fran Fraschilla says, that's just good basketball. Tough basketball. Then he sees the replay and he's like, "Oh no, that's a flagrant 2."
yeah, get the dude out of here.
That's a flagrant 2.
Yeah.
He's gone. But just his immediate reaction, he does this with a lot of players.
Yeah.
He has his pet players, and exactly what they do, it's like, oh, that's just it's like he's not watching the game. He's just reacting to what the player did. And then he sees the replay. He does this with officials all the time.
Yeah.
He'll side with an official after every play, and then he'll see the replay and be like, oh, well, I don't know. And then just leave it. I'm surprised he switched his tune here on Brock Cunningham because he loves Brock. He loves Brock. It's good basketball. And then it turns into, well, that's probably a flagrant 2. So that happens. Darian Williams bows up. Joe Toussaint rushes over. There's no scuffle. Brock is ejected. While they're talking about it, stuff gets thrown on the floor. One Texas Tech fan gets ejected for throwing something on the floor. You get a technical. Tony Bradford executes the ejection.
The search warrant.
And then everything moves on, and you're fine.
That young man was on more than booze, it looked like.
18 years old, he says.
Whew.
It's his birthday today, according to his mugshot. So happy birthday!
What a great day to spend your 19th birthday in the Lubbock County Sheriff's.
Yeah.
Oh,
you're never coming back to Texas Tech. Congratulations.
No, you will be dismissed.
Now, and then there's fireball nips, more water bottles,
just stupid,
raining down onto the floor. So much so that Grant has to get on the mic and say, "Hey, anything else is another technical."
Just embarrassing. That's what that is. Like on national TV too. Like this game's on ESPN. You're throwing crap on the floor because of some dumb idiot that plays for the University of Texas made you mad. And it's embarrassing. It's what it is. Grant McCasland, the head coach, has to get on the microphone and say, "Please stop." Like that's embarrassing. Dude.
That's embarrassing. It's
embarrassing. It's embarrassing for him. I'm sure he didn't want to do it. You could tell he didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
But it just was flat out embarrassing. I mean, you're already getting your butt kicked. It would have been one thing if you're up by 20, but like it's just absolutely embarrassing. I love Texas Tech fans. I love the passion that the students bring.
Yeah.
I think that the student section has been great from the early inception of the Raider Riot, which I think I want to take credit a little bit for, had a part in because of having the guys on our show so much, because they were getting so big and we helped them push the message out. But Rob's Twitter account did.
I don't know how much credit we could take. We were certainly early adopters.
Yeah, Rob's Twitter account did. But that is just it's unacceptable. That's what it is. And you've just got to be better. And I know they're kids. When we were in college, we did stupid crap too. But
I never threw anything onto a field.
No, I never threw anything. Never have wanted to throw anything other than a tortilla.
They
onto the field.
In Buffalo, sometimes they throw family show, earmuffs, toys on the field.
Yeah. There's some hockey places, like minor league hockey places, that will do that as well.
There's, Nashville, the Predators throw octopus.
Yeah,
catfish.
Something. Yeah. Catfish. I don't know that you're getting a lot of octopus in Nashville.
There's some hockey place throws octopus.
Seattle?
That's a hockey thing.
The Kraken? I mean, that would make sense.
But again, when it happened in football, when the water bottle or the beer was thrown in football,
yeah,
we were all like, "Nah, that didn't happen." It was probably an Iowa State fan or an Oklahoma State fan that was just trying to. That's not us, right? It happened again. It happened again. Now it's happening in basketball.
I mean,
that's just who we are. Now, look,
Look, it happens at a lot of places other than Texas Tech, too. I grew up in the
sure it
Texas Tech
does.
athletic office, walking into tunnels and everything after
Yeah.
games. In College Station, when Mickey Peters beat them, they didn't like it. They're throwing water bottles and beer cans and everything else at us walking down the tunnel. You have to get police escorts everywhere. The
Well, now there's
University of
cameras
Texas has
everywhere.
done it. Oklahoma does it.
Now there's cameras everywhere. But
yeah.
here's what I'm getting at. Don't throw stuff onto the field or the court. But I don't mind the reputation.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Lean into it.
Yeah.
We are from Lubbock. We are hard.
We're a little dirty. We're a little gritty.
We're a little gritty.
Yeah. We got a chip on our shoulder.
Don't mess with us.
That's why I wear the hat.
Keep your chip.
Lupton brings up a good point. If you want a rowdy, raucous crowd, there's going to be speed bumps. True.
Now, you didn't have much fight when Brock Cunningham put Darian Williams into a table. It looked like Darian Williams wanted to fight, but it was one of those. It's like, hey,
I'm
man,
glad.
Hold me back. I'm gonna not swing, but just hold me back real quick.
I'm glad there wasn't any punches thrown because Brock Cunningham doesn't. He does.
You didn't want to stoop to their level.
Yeah, he's not worth getting suspended for 3 or 4 games. The last 3 games, if you're Darian Williams. Now, Brock Cunningham better get at least a game for that crap.
What about this?
Trash. He's just trash.
I've
He's just a douche.
I want to go back in time.
Yes, right.
Texas Longhorns lose in Lubbock in 2022. Yes. The infamous everything runs through Lubbock game.
Football. Yeah.
Football.
Yeah.
Joey McGuire, right? We rushed the field.
Yeah.
A student, a marshmallow of a little student, runs into a fully padded player, barely scraping him. And they wanted this, Texas fans, not they, the Texas fans wanted this man arrested for assault. And were crying, end
at the top of their lungs.
End this insanity. Storming is going to kill somebody. This man almost murdered our player. He touched him with both hands, running at full speed. Did you see the reaction to Brock Cunningham putting him into the table?
Yeah, great job, Brock. Best Longhorn ever. Yeah.
And Longhorns live forever, buddy. Hell yeah, hook 'em. Put that buddy into the table. And then I saw Darian Williams elbow into Asmus when he's obviously just having shooting form, and Asmus puts his forehead right into his elbow.
Yeah.
Trying to take a charge. Basketball play. I mean, you don't see Darian Williams' elbows moving at all. They're stationary.
Yeah, he's going
and
like
Asmus
this.
Puts his eyeball right into his elbow. They're like, this is what happens when you have hard fouls early in the game. You have hard fouls late.
It's just basketball. Same thing happened to Pop Isaacs earlier this year.
I don't know. It just the hypocrisy from Austin never ceases to amaze me. Never ceases.
There's a bunch of softness at the university in Austin too.
So
there's just a bunch of softness that comes out of there.
And again, I'm not upset because of the game. I understand the game. You got hammered.
Yeah, they were the better team. Fair.
This is not being.
I just hate Brock Cunningham.
This is not me being sour grapes. Hypocrisy. So,
I actually wouldn't dislike the Texas team if Brock Cunningham wasn't on it. I think there's a lot of good pieces on that Texas team. I think Dessou is great. I think Asmus is a fantastic scorer. Yeah. Dylan Mitchell's great on the boards. He plays hard. If Brock Cunningham wasn't there, I would love watching Texas play basketball because they play well. I like Rodney Terry.
Who's the guy with the haircut?
Oh, yeah, he's hard to look at. But
what's his name? Hard to look at. I can't remember his name. He's a pesky little booger.
He is. He's a really good player too.
And they just played harder than you. They played tougher than you.
Yeah.
And again, toughest team wins, right? Toughest team wins. You've not been very tough this week. And if you want to go back, Carson, to the drama a week and a half ago.
Kendall Weaver.
Weaver, that's right. To the drama a week and a half ago, is it time to say Norris was right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're not a championship level team if you play like this. You're just not. And I think this was the worst of the 3 games you played. It just so happened that it was a sellout crowd at home and the students camped out for 3 days, and that makes it look worse.
And the last time you'll play Texas for a while. So now Texas is going to say that they have bragging rights.
Maybe
all
ever
over
in the USA.
Yeah.
Maybe ever.
Yeah, they definitely won't come to you probably, unless in that Big 12 SEC matchup they do every year. Maybe you'll finally get Texas and Texas A&M back in Lubbock at some point, but we'll see. But yeah, I mean, the moral to this story is Brock Cunningham is a tool. He always has been, always will be. And you knew something like that would happen because he was playing so poorly. And he's always going to do something. I mean, it's not just against Texas Tech that he does this stuff either. If you watch every other game, Brock Cunningham's always doing something dirty. He's just a dirty player. He's the kind of player that how can I say this in the nicest way possible? He's the kind of player that I would get the guy that sits on the end of my bench, doesn't play a ton of minutes, to go take him out in the first part of the game so I don't have to deal with him the rest of the night. So that's sounds bad.
Not hurt him.
Not hurt him, but like take him and make him go have to sit on the bench with a bloody nose or something.
That's like a receiver comes over the middle early in the game, you pop him in the rib.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to go over the middle anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll say this. You and I both know a former middle school basketball coach, okay? You got that locked in?
Yeah.
That was upset last night that the Gambling Gaucho's Twitter handle said that you should have reacted tougher to Brock Cunningham in the moment, right? I seem to remember that same middle school basketball coach that we both know have a bounty gate scandal in junior high where I earned $5 for earning a foul against Trinity.
Yep.
So do with that what you will.
Yep.
Let me see.
I remember that too.
I want to find somebody tweeted out Brock Cunningham's stat line against Texas Tech all time.
It's not good.
I wonder if I liked it. I wish I would have kept that. I saw it last night. I was like, oh, that's great for the show. Not that it really matters. He's being a little rent-free right now. What in the world? Nah, I don't have it on here. That would have been funny, though. All right, let's move on.
This is gold from the Austin American-Statesman, which I don't remember seeing this on the television. As officials were at the monitor looking over the play, Texas Tech fans at United Supermarkets Arena in Lubbock began throwing objects onto the court, including water bottles and mostly full cans of beer from the upper decks that landed close to the Texas huddle. Don't remember seeing a full can of beer.
It was one full can of beer, and that's the guy that got ejected.
Yeah.
And if we want to go full old man, let's be good in the stands, right?
Yeah.
Why are 18-year-old students getting full cans of beer? How'd they do that?
Fact. That's a great point. Well, their friends are going up to the top and buying the alcohol for them.
I know how. Or they're buying it and we're not checking IDs.
Also could be fair too. I've never bought an alcoholic beverage in the USA, so I usually have a media credential when I'm in there. So it seems counterintuitive to be a media person and doing that. Plus, there's free food and
do you get wristbands?
Soft drinks in the
I've bought a beer at the USA. I don't remember a wristband. I'm sure they
I don't.
check IDs though.
I don't remember.
They do
But Rodney Terry
beers at baseball, and they check ID at baseball.
Rodney Terry, all he talked about and he didn't say anything about Brock Cunningham's foul and that it was uncalled for or malicious, or anything like that. He just said that all it says is that he told the referees that Texas Tech should get 4 technical fouls because of all the 4 objects he saw on the floor. Nothing about his player being the one who really just started the whole thing.
Yeah, instigated it.
Yeah, and that's what Brock Cunningham is. He's the agitator, and like he's the instigator. That's what he is, and he thrives off of that crap. In Texas Tech, instead of letting Brock Cunningham look like the absolute moron that he is, Texas Tech fans put it on themselves and made Texas Tech fans look like morons last night because of the throwing things and all that.
And then you get the headline: Texas win marred by angry Texas Tech fans throwing bottles.
Yeah. I don't think the Tech win was marred by anything.
Can we get some alternate headlines here?
Yeah.
Cunningham, Texas player checks Red Raider into crowd. Fans respond. I don't know. It's just hard to talk about Texas and Texas Tech without like the other side being like, well, you're just a Red Raider. And
yeah. Like, well, you couldn't get into this university. Here's the thing. I think most of my friends that went to Texas Tech could have very easily gotten in to the University of Texas. They just didn't want to.
Well, and double down here. We're Texas Tech fans, you and I. But neither of us went there.
Right. Yeah.
So Texas fans can't tell us we didn't just get into Texas. We chose to go to a different university.
Had the opportunity to go there, I did, but did not take that. Took the more money route.
You kind of yodered that statement there.
Yeah.
Had the opportunity, I did.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on here. We're just talking in circles at this point.
Plus, whenever I was at LCU, we beat Texas Tech in baseball. That's where the programs were at the time.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you meant you had the opportunity to go to Texas.
No, not to go to. I did never in my wildest dreams, even if I would have gotten a scholarship, I don't think I would have gone to Texas ever. I met Augie Garrido a couple times. Didn't like him. Not my cup of tea.
All right, let's go to the NFL Players Association. They put out their 2024 player report cards for the teams. It says, one of our core jobs as a union is to improve the overall working conditions for our players, which includes the daily experience of players at the team facilities away from the lights and cameras. 1,706 of our players provided information to share with one another about their current club to help them not only make important career decisions, but also help raise standards across the league. This is done every year. It's for free agency. Let me just see. Hold on. Let me calculate something real quick. I don't want to do it in my head. 1,706 divided by 32. All right. We're getting full roster participation here. That's 53 plus per team. So maybe some practice squad guys. Not everyone responded, but 1,700 is pretty much everyone responding to these. Okay. So that's pretty good. When I first saw that, I was like, what is that? Like 40 dudes per team? No, it's 53 per team. So that's full rosters responding. Some teams are listed at the top of this. So maybe free agency will be kind to, let's say, the Miami Dolphins, who got an A- in treatment of facilities, got an A in food, cafeteria, nutrition, dietitian. They got an A in their locker room, A in training room, training staff, weight room, strength coaches, team travel, head coach, A+ for the owner. A's in everything, the Miami Dolphins. They're the best team, right? No? Okay. Let's go to the best team. Let's go to Kansas City. Should I do one more real quick? Let's do one more. Let's go to
do one more. Do one more. That's not
Dallas
a good
Cowboys.
team.
Let's do the Dallas Cowboys, right? What do they care about? Care about football, right? Treatment of families. I've been reading that as facilities. It's families. A-. Food, cafeteria, B. Nutrition, B. Locker room, A. Training room, C-. Training staff, D+. Weight room, A. It's brand new. It should be an A. Strength coaches, B+. So I guess it's not brand new, but it's in the star. Team travel, C-. Head coach, A. Mike McCarthy gets an A. I don't know how. Owner, B. Interesting. I wonder if fans taking this would give Jerry Jones a B.
Probably not. Not the hardcore Cowboy fans, because he hadn't brought a championship since 1994.
Not overall, certainly. So there's the Cowboys. All right, let's go to the Chiefs. Let's see. I want to go to something that I know is bad, so I can just have them up at the top here. All right, Kansas City Chiefs, back-to-back Super Bowl champions, right? Should be bad.
Best coach, best quarterback,
right?
Best tight end.
Probably living large.
One of the better defenses in the NFL this year.
Free agents, ring chasing down there. Yeah? No, not really. I guess you haven't really signed a bunch of free agents to ring chase.
Don't need to.
You've built your team from within. All right, let's go to Kansas City. Ready? Treatment of families. D+. All right. Food, cafeteria, C-, 26th in the league. Nutrition, dietitian, 31st in the league. That's an F. Only 37% of Chiefs players feel like they get individualized plans. The locker room, F, 28th in the league. It's the 28th worst locker room in the league. 63% of players feel like they have enough room in their individual lockers. They finally got chairs for their lockers this year.
With backs.
Training room, D. Only 80% of players feel like they have enough hot and cold tub space. Training staff, F. F, they don't have enough trainers. They don't get 43% of the players feel like they receive enough one-on-one treatment. Weight room, C+. They could go to Gold's Gym and get the same type of workout. Strength coaches, C+. Only 76% of the players feel like they get an individualized plan. I really want to know who that is. If that's veterans or rookies. Like, are we not caring about the rookies? Or are we not caring about the veterans? You do it yourself, veteran. I don't know.
Yeah.
Team travel, D. 83% of the players feel like they have enough comfortable space. The Chiefs are one of 7 teams that require some of their players to have
chartering
roommates.
Spirit Airlines.
Roommates the night before a game. Oh, my goodness. They have roommates.
Oh, so terrible.
They have 2 beds in the room. We're staying at 5-star hotels.
5-star hotels. About to say, it's a 5-star hotel. It's not like you're staying at the Holiday Inn.
We're complaining about roommates.
You're staying at the Ritz.
Head coach,
come on, bro.
Hey, it's probably a suite.
Yeah, and a big one at that.
Head coach, I want to go back to that. Hold on.
Couch and everything.
That requires some of their players to have roommates. Okay. So the rookies have roommates.
The rookies get roommates. That's
Patrick Mahomes doesn't.
That's how it is everywhere.
Patrick Mahomes doesn't have roommates.
Tell him to go play minor league baseball, then come back and talk to me.
Says one of 7 teams. One of 7 teams that require some of their players. So there's 25 teams that don't have any roommates before the night of the game.
I would rather have a roommate. I don't want to sit there by myself. I'm not a solitary person.
I'd rather be alone. The Chiefs players give high ratings to Andy Reid. Andy Reid receives a 9.77 out of 10 individual rating from his players, first overall. 95% of players feel Andy Reid is efficient with their time, 11th overall. The players feel that Andy Reid is willing to listen to the locker room, 6th overall. Players coach. Ownership, F-.
That's just because they're upset about all the other things.
F-. The back-to-back Super Bowl champions receive an F-. You want my controversial opinion?
Controversial?
Controversial?
Yeah, shoot.
Ready?
Give it to me.
The Chiefs' sucky facilities make these guys focus on football and nothing else. No glitz in the locker room, no glitz at the training table. We're here to play football. We're not here to give you personalized workouts. Just go work out. You're a veteran. You're a professional athlete. You know what to do. If you want to hire a guy like Bobby Stroop to be your personal trainer, go do it. But we're here to play football. That's why they're back-to-back Super Bowl champions. They're about to tag and trade L'Jarius Sneed because he's going to command too much money and they need to save space. You know what this reminds me of? You know what the Chiefs remind me of? Don't care about the players, really. They just want to win. They care about the quarterback, right? They care about the tight end. Sounds like a lot like another team.
Yeah, the
Patriots.
New England Patriots.
The prime Patriots, right?
The best dynasty we've seen in the NFL.
Spend for a couple players on defense and then churn the rest of it. And when they get good enough, what are we doing before we give them a second contract? We trade them. No, don't just let them walk.
That's what I mean. See you. Yeah.
At the end of their, you trade them.
You get something for them.
Yeah. You trade them at the end of their rookie deal. You move them on.
You develop from within because you trade him for a guy who you think is going to be good but hasn't quite reached that potential yet.
Or a guy,
Danny Amendola,
or a young guy that's on his list, right? Trent McDuffie.
Yeah.
You drafted him. He's going to replace L'Jarius Sneed, all right?
That's right.
Chiefs coaching staff using MyFitnessPal and calling it a day? Maybe. Why does a professional athlete need a nutritionist, right?
Look, I played at a very low level of professional sports. There was a little bit of nutrition and there was a strength coach, but it's like he's just going to give you a plan, but you do all the work on your own. Like nobody's babysitting you in a professional locker room. Football may be a bit different because it's more like you're there for 6 days a week and you're only playing one day. But like baseball, you're playing almost every single day. So there's not enough time for you to like go and have a strength trainer and be all this. They give you a plan, like a meal plan. Like they give you places that you can go get free stuff or good discounts, and they're all good places to eat, clean places to eat. But it just like you do everything on your own. Like every single bit of it is on your own.
I have a serious question because I don't know. Do NFL teams like have mandatory weightlifting sessions where the team lifts weights together?
I wouldn't think so. Other than maybe rookie mini camp, like where they're trying to like
during
bulk
training
them
camp,
and during training camp, I would think that's it. But
I mean, I'm sure a lot of the players.
Patrick Mahomes isn't going and lifting with the whole team. He's going and getting his own personal work in.
Right.
On his own.
Also works with the team. I just don't know. I honestly don't know the answer to that.
Yeah.
I know that he lifts and works out with Bobby Stroop because he built himself a gym in Kansas City and moved this guy to Kansas City to do it. Right? The guy from DFW or whatever from his youth. I've got another thought. You ready for this? All of these entitled millionaires, right? That's what we call them when they upset us. Are used to being spoiled in college.
Especially the ones at the Power 5 levels.
Yeah. All these Alabama players come into the NFL. It's like, whoa, we had better stuff at Alabama.
Yeah, that's a fact. There's a lot of like, if you go play, well, of course, now the Raiders have nice things, but if you went and played for the Raiders before they went to Vegas.
Hey, the Bengals are all Fs.
Yeah, true.
Except for their head coach. There's poverty franchises in the NFL that don't have a lot of wiggle room to go spend a bunch of money. Now, Alabama, they've got individualized plans nutrition-wise for every single player. I think Texas
Tech
a
full strength staff, not just a strength coach, strength staff. And there's 5 guys on the strength staff.
You have individualized plans because they're going to be there for 2 weeks, 2 years, 2 weeks, 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah.
And you have to maximize what it is. And they're going from high school to college. Now, rookies, like you said earlier, transitioning into the NFL, they probably have individualized plans and they probably get together and work out. But I don't know. I never are all these guys expecting the same experience in the NFL that they experienced at the collegiate level? It just feels like it's different in the NFL.
Because a lot of these guys, and this was new to me whenever I went into pro baseball. And like I said, very bottom level of pro baseball. So it could change, but just knowing some of the guys that were up in the higher levels that played with me in the independent ball stuff, uh, they told me that it's not much different at the higher levels in pro baseball where everything is on your own. Like you're a professional athlete. Our head coach, our manager used to always tell us, and I've always thought, because in college, everything is put out for you. Like you have a strength coach, he's telling you what to lift, how to lift. To the head coach during practice is telling you, like, this is what we're doing. This is how you're going to do it. At the pro level, there's a little bit of coaching that goes on, but other than that, it's all on your own. And we're going to get the job done with how much work you put in on your own. Like I had to learn early in that is to go or get there early, get my work in, and then you can now some of the pitchers would get together and we'd go work out together. And like two of the dudes were, and that's whenever like yoga became a big deal for me because as a pitcher, you need good abdominal strength. You need the stretching of it all. That's when I was the best I was ever at in my career, but I never did that in college. I never would have thought about that because plans were to the whole team, not just you as an individual. And so I think in the NFL too, I think there's a lot of that where a defensive lineman is going to work out differently than an offensive lineman, than a linebacker, than a safety. All of those things, you need to do different things. And whereas in college, I think that everybody's doing a lot of the same thing. And when these guys get into pro sports, they expect to get that same kind of coaching or mentoring or, whatever it might be, but that's just not the case at the pro level. It's a lot on your own. And I think that's why we see some guys that fizzle out that have been great athletes in college, but then over the next couple of years, they're just not that great. They're injury prone a little bit. Yeah. And because they're not getting the things that they were in college. And that's just because they haven't gone out on their own and found it.
I will say this.
Patrick Mahomes wasn't making a ton of money his rookie year. He was able to watch Alex Smith and gain a lot of, perspective in what Alex did every day and how he prepared on the field. But I think Patrick had a good enough work ethic off the field with his training and with who he knew. He just went straight for that and has bought into that from the very get-go. He didn't need someone giving him, and granted he was a top 10 overall pick and had great money coming in, but still it's a little different than an undrafted free agent who doesn't have the money yet.
Yeah, but those guys can buy into the facilities, right?
Yeah.
And if a veteran is like, oh, only ham and cheese, what are we doing here? The rookie can be like, oh, ham and cheese, great.
And you're not getting ham and cheese. Yeah.
Maybe they are. I don't know. They got an
in the minor leagues. We did
an app for nutrition.
Yeah. That's just because they don't have a nutritionist.
Well, and it's like
she was there two times a week or something like that.
No. There are NFL teams that make you pay for meals at the facility, and they have a restaurant at the facility. They don't give food out.
Wow.
Yeah, there are NFL teams that are way behind the times.
I can see some of those guys being upset with that. Like you go to the sports cafeteria at Texas Tech. I mean, it's phenomenal.
But there's also NFL teams that run it like a college, like Minnesota, who gets A+ across the board because they're like the college and they feed the players.
But what has Minnesota done for us lately? What has Minnesota done for you lately?
Well, I don't think
get beat by the Giants in the playoffs.
I think it's a thin line to say my hot take earlier that the Chiefs are better because they don't provide. But
yeah, no,
I do think it toughens up the team a little bit, and it helps to have Patrick Mahomes. That was mostly a joke when I said that earlier.
That and Andy Reid is your head coach. Yeah, he was the number one ranked head coach in this thing too.
But I mean, maybe in all seriousness, in all reality here, I think you'll see more NFL teams adapting to the college style and providing more to NFL players because you're not going to get free agents. You're not going to do this. You're not going to do that if you can't provide. Now, a lot of times that shouldn't matter. You should just want to win and go to
Right.
places where you win. But why did the Patriots dynasty end? You go back to it. A lot of these younger players, right, were going to New England and be like, this isn't fun. We're not having fun. It's not fun. And that's when the crack started to show. Tom
The
Brady,
old school way of doing things. Yeah.
and then you hear all these old heads like Teddy Bruschi come out and say, "Fun, winning is fun."
It's not supposed to be fun when you're preparing to win.
Fun, winning is fun.
No.
So I just don't think you have those kind of attitudes anymore that are majority, right? So you kind of have to ride the line here. Now, all that being said, I will say this. Chiefs, you've won back-to-back freaking Super Bowls. You have the money. You have the money. Hold training camp somewhere else. Develop your facilities. Spend some money on the locker room. But if Texas Tech can find $200,000, now that's donations. I get it. Go get some rich ex-player to put his name on the training facility and find some money somewhere. The Hunts, go use your catch-up money.
Yeah.
To
high V grocery stores.
You have the opportunities here to make a back-to-back Super Bowl team better facilities. Let's be honest there. Now, the roommate stuff, the hot and cold tubs, you probably should hire some more trainers if that's the deal. They don't feel like they have enough trainers. You're probably being cheap. So I don't want to side too much with the owners, but I also don't want to side too much with the players here. It just seems like a down the middle, everyone just kind of is complaining about the other side kind of thing. And that's what a union does, right? That's what a union does.
Yep. Yeah, and I think in this new CBA, you're going to get a lot more of that because you've got a lot more of these guys that are coming into the NFL that have been spoiled at the college level, because now you're getting the athletes that have played 4 or 5 years at these colleges that have these prime, training facilities, and then they're not getting that at the NFL level. Like they're going to, like you said earlier, they're going to expect that. That's what they expect when you get to the NFL: money and nicer facilities, or just up to par with some of these college facilities, which the facility that Texas Tech is building is going to be like immaculate. It's going to be one of the best facilities in the Big 12. Texas has built one that's really nice as well. Texas A&M just got done building theirs, I believe, a couple of years ago when they redid Kyle Field a little bit. So you're seeing a bunch of these guys that are going from college to the NFL, and the facilities just don't match up with what they think they should be. And with the older this generation gets, and they get more of a voice in the NFLPA, that's going to go into the CBA. And we're going to see a lot of changes coming in the NFL in the coming years, especially in regards to training facilities, nutrition, all those things. Because the athlete is just changing. That's
the athlete's
part of the reason
is changing. Yeah.
Yeah. Because they're so coddled from even in high schools these days. Like,
hey, there's high schools in Texas that have better facilities and nutrition than NFL teams. I almost could guarantee that.
There are. And Lake Travis and Austin Westlake and a bunch of these teams in the Metroplex, they've got just immaculate facilities, and they've got nutritionists. They've got, full scale performance staffs. They're doing everything that some of these college teams can't do, and some of these NFL teams don't do either. So, it's pretty ridiculous and crazy that at the high school level you're getting that here in this. I mean, Melissa just built a fantastic new facility, or they're about to open it this next year in Melissa. That is, I would put it up with some divisionals at the Power 5 level with how nice their practice facility is going to be. And the kinds of things that they can do for student athletes. It's just crazy. So you're going to go from that in high school. Say a kid from Melissa goes high school to college, plays at Texas Tech, has this great facility at Texas Tech. And then you go to the NFL and you go to Cincinnati, and Cincinnati's practice facility is worse than your practice facility was in high school. So It'll be interesting to see how the game moves along in that regard. Now, I don't think it changes anything on the field in the next 5 years, but athletes are changing. They want more because they've been given more, younger and younger in their lives, and because people have told them how great they are so young too. That's where it's changing. Like when a lot of us were younger, we weren't ever told we were great. Our parents were the ones telling us like, "Hey, you're not very good. You need to work harder."
Yeah.
And then you get to
Well,
high school and they tell you you're not very good. You need to work harder. You get to college, you're not very good. You'll never play after this. Yeah, those things.
Well, you can't say that anymore because the transfer portal, right? The transfer portal changed
Yeah,
everything.
exactly.
All right, that was a joke. But speaking of
The
NFL,
transfer portal did change everything, though.
well, it did, but
True.
not in the way I said. The NFL Combine is this week.
Yeah.
Defensive linemen, linebackers going tomorrow. Defensive backs, tight ends going Friday. That is Rabbit. That is Tyler Owens. Quarterbacks, wide receivers, running backs go on Saturday. Offensive linemen on Sunday. Miles Cole, Thursday defensive lineman. And then punters, I guess, at some point because Austin McNamara is at the Combine.
He's there today. They're punting today.
I don't know when they're punting. No, it starts tomorrow, but the punters and kickers aren't listed. Do you punt at the Combine or do you just do the measurables?
I have no idea. I don't think we've ever had a punter that has been to the Combine, so I really haven't paid attention.
Didn't Jonathan Garibay go to the Combine?
Yeah, he was a kicker, though.
Yeah, but punters, kickers, same thing.
Do they still have to do like the broad jump and everything else that all these other guys do?
Or do they just do the interviews? I don't know.
Good question. I don't know.
Any thoughts on the top 3 quarterbacks not throwing at the Combine? Throw at your pro day.
Yeah, that's what they do now.
I wouldn't throw at the Combine. I would throw at my pro day.
There's no gain to throwing at the Combine and throwing to guys that you've never thrown to before. But at your pro day, the guys you're throwing to, and you're in a facility that you've been in before. You're in, you feel comfortable. That's why you see a bunch of these top quarterbacks now. It does them no good.
And if you're a top 3 quarterback, those scouts will be. It's not like the Bears are missing Drake May's pro day.
No,
they're not missing Caleb Williams' pro day.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels.
They're not missing.
You're not missing their pro day.
Yeah. So
Bo Nix, all those dudes. They'll have somebody at every single one of those. And if it's not the general manager, then it'll be his right-hand man.
And there will be
somebody if they have to split times.
There will be 32 teams at Caleb Williams pro day. It's like
every single team will be at Caleb Williams' pro day.
Yeah. You're a top pick, and maybe only 5 teams have an opportunity, but everyone will be there just in case something crazy happens. In case you, are smoking weed through a gas mask the day before the draft.
Laramie Tunsil.
Yeah.
Help the Texans. He's been a big part of the Texans.
Yeah. Well, shout out to Miami who drafted him, and then or you go back to like Lyle Collins, who was like a murder suspect when the draft happened, and then no, that didn't. That's BS. It didn't happen, and then the Cowboys got him as an undrafted free agent.
Yeah, and then look at what Matt Araiza now with the Kansas City Chiefs, the punter they just picked up, who was falsely accused out of San Diego State, one of the best punters that we've ever seen in college football.
Yeah, drafted by the Bills.
Drafted by the Bills, but never played. And because he was falsely accused, and then that's gone now. He was a free agent, and Kansas City picks him up.
Not re-signing allegedly Tommy Townsend.
Right, not re-signing Tommy Townsend,
who's all-pro punter.
Yeah. And I think a lot of that has to do with Tommy Townsend is going to need a lot more money. Matt Araiza is cheap, as cheap as they come, but a very good punter. Yeah.
I always said Ariza. I guess it's
Ariza. I don't know. Whichever way you say it.
What's the baseball player? Trevor Ariza? Is that spelled the same?
It might be. Yeah.
Ariza. I mean, not getting a rise out of me, however you say it. hell of a leg from San Diego State.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you remember back in the
Yeah.
day.
I mean, like a 72-yard boot one year at San Diego State.
It's rare a punter's name that's not your punter.
Yeah.
Like, we all knew Michael Dickinson's name from Texas because he was a stud.
Tressway.
Went to the Seahawks. Where'd he go to college?
Tressway at Oklahoma. Yeah.
Tressway was at Oklahoma?
Pretty sure. Or Oklahoma or LSU.
I know we knew we knew Connor Assalley just because that's a funny name.
Yeah.
Dicker, funny name.
Yeah, played college football at Oklahoma. You had me second guessing myself there for a second.
Well, I just know him from the football team, the Commanders, the Redskins. So,
did you see the Commanders are getting sued? The people that the head that was the mascot for so many years, the family of the mascot is suing the Washington football team to go back to the Redskins because they want their dad's head or their ancestor's head back on the helmet because it brought them like pride and recognition, which is kind of funny.
You probably paid them to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
So out on money.
Yeah. There's a lot of woke people that don't understand how a lot of this stuff affects the people that it's kind of funny. It's our culture today, people that's feelings shouldn't be hurt by certain things, they get hurt, and that's when things change. But the people that it should be hurting their feelings, it doesn't hurt their feelings. Kind of like Florida State, the Seminoles, like the Seminole tribe in Florida has always given Florida State the right, I guess, to use their name and image. And Chief Osceola used to be some white guy, and now it's an actual Seminole, I believe, that they get. And that was a deal that they made with the Seminole tribe in Florida. So that's a cool story, too.
All right. Any other stories from this week you want to talk about?
No.
We don't have baseball midweek.
No baseball midweek. TCU comes up with another walk-off win last night. Did you see that? 12 innings.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to talk about this.
I don't know if Lupton Drinking Club is still in here. JD.
Yeah, surely they're not an hour in. No TCU talk. Did you watch the end of that game? I turned it over after Texas Tech lost.
I was watching on ESPN Plus. Yeah.
Yeah, same. So they're up 7-3, 6-3 or something. And I didn't see how it got tied, but turnover, right? Bases loaded, no outs.
Yeah.
Strikeout, I believe. Fly ball or line drive, really, to right field.
Line drive, yeah. It wasn't a fly ball. Yeah.
Second out. Line drive to right field. Second out. And then defensive replacement walks up.
Yeah.
Not a hitter.
No.
Slaps one through the hole. Defense. First pitch.
Slaps it through the 5-6 hole.
I was ready to tweet at Lupton Drinking Club. How do you get the bases loaded and not walk it off?
And with nobody out. With nobody out in the bottom of the inning. Yeah, bottom of the 12th. Home team.
They did it. By the way, another one-run win.
Another one-run win.
Over Washington.
And they stay undefeated. And that's a good win. Washington State's not a pushover in the Pac-12 this year.
Somebody else played. Somebody else played in the Big 12 last night.
Yeah, I don't know.
I watched like 2 innings of it. Oh, it was Texas maybe whipped St. John's? Was that last night or the night before?
That would have been last Tuesday night. Yeah, last night.
Somebody else though.
Not quite sure.
Should have had this pulled up earlier. Sorry, my bad. My bad. Hold on. We're getting there. Select conference, Big 12.
Arkansas beat Grambling 21-1 last night.
Yeah, I saw.
You're playing Gardner Webb this weekend, correct?
Yeah.
Texas Tech, they lost to South Carolina 7-1 last night. So Gardner Webb may not be terrible. Losing to a really good South Carolina team. Yeah, that Lupton, that's what we were talking about. Byrne absolutely smokes a line drive to right, but it was hit too hard and not deep because they're playing in.
Yeah.
And and then you pepper one through the 5-6 hole to get the win. That's it. Hey, hell of a win.
Baseball.
Great win.
All right, here
Stetson beat Florida last night. The Mad Hatters 7-4. Nice.
here it is. Here it is. It was Oklahoma State, Dallas Baptist.
There you go.
But
Ooh,
there's no final here.
Oh, it says 14-4 in 7 innings.
Yeah,
Dallas Baptist run ruled Oklahoma State.
Yeah. That's what I was trying to get to. They don't have
Yeah.
final scores. It's like they stopped updating the score bug on D1 baseball like at 5:00 yesterday.
Yeah,
I
found
did
it. Dallas.
UTSA beat Houston? They were up 8-7 in the bottom of the ninth. Not updated.
Let me see.
That would be Houston's first loss, huh?
UTSA beat Houston 8-7.
UCF, Florida Atlantic were tied 1-1 in the bottom of the second. Texas beat St. John's, and Dallas Baptist hammered Oklahoma State. You hate to see that, really. You hate to see
UCF beat Florida Atlantic 11-6. FAU's baseball stadium is garbage.
Did I say driving club?
I think he meant the type drinking. I think you said drinking.
I might have said driving. I don't know.
Who knows? I don't know.
I'd like to be in a driving club. I like driving.
Texas beat St. John's 15-4.
Yeah, but UCF Houston or UCF Florida Atlantic. Did you see that score?
Yeah, UCF won 11-5.
So UCF unbeaten?
11-6.
Unbeaten?
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, you can't click on. There's no box scores.
Where are you at? Are you at ESPN?
Yeah, on ESPN NCAA baseball. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not very robust. But D1 baseball, who generally is, didn't update their scores yesterday. Sad.
Yeah.
No baseball tonight in the Big 12. That's a lie.
That's a lie.
Canisius,
TCU in Arizona,
West Virginia, TCU hosting Arizona, and Baylor hosting ACU. Yep. Money line play on ACU.
Yeah, give me ACU all day.
That's at 3, 5, and 7. You can watch those back to back to back.
Baylor is 1-6.
Baylor's bad.
So bad.
Baylor,
West Virginia first pitch 2:30.
Should Baylor hire Angelo State's head coach, who is a Baylor alum?
Yes. The answer is yes to
Warren
that question.
Nolan has better.
Angelo State has had a lot of success.
Okay. Oh, this is the live RPI site. Okay, yeah. All right. Better scores.
TCU's got a tough midweek thing coming up, and then on the weekend it doesn't get a ton easier for TCU. I mean, you got USC and Arizona State this weekend, and USC twice. USC's not great,
yeah,
but still a California baseball school.
USC, I saw somewhere that they have an opportunity to be better this year, but
it's not showing. No, it's not showing through. Now,
Baylor did just hire a new coach, but I think they whiffed.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they whiffed. I just don't know how Baylor's not good. Like, it's not like they don't have a nice park or anything like that, and they're in a great recruiting spot. Like, you think of all these schools in Texas that are good at baseball. Rice has struggled in the last few years, but Rice has been under Wayne Graham. They were a perennial power in Omaha a lot. Dallas Baptist has been really good in regionals every single year, it feels like. TCU's always been good. Texas Tech has come on since Tim Tadlock showed up on campus. Texas is obviously one of the most storied programs in college baseball, just going back. Texas A&M as well. Now with Jim Schlossnagle as head coach, Schloss has put Texas A&M back up into the higher parts of the SEC now. Houston has been a good baseball team. So for Baylor not to be successful these last few years, and Baylor really hasn't been that successful as of late. I think they've made one regional appearance in the last 10, 12 years, something like that. I think Texas State has made more regional appearances in Division I. So
Yeah, Baylor hired Mitch Thompson in 2023.
Yeah.
Who was a Baylor assistant from 95 to 2012, 18 years.
Right.
But then has been at McLennan as a junior college head coach.
And McLennan's been great. Don't get me wrong. McLennan's great. It's right there in Waco.
For 9 seasons. And then he comes back to Baylor. Baylor 6-18 in conference play last year, 20-35. This is year 2. They're 1-6.
Yeah. Did he win a national championship at McLennan? I know he went to the World Series a few times.
Hold on. The
McLennan also the number 1 ranked softball team in the country in JUCO.
Really?
Yeah.
A tournament finish. McLennan. It says they finished at the World Series champions 2021.
That's right. I remember them winning one of those years lately. I just couldn't remember.
They made the World Series in 2022.
Yeah.
Here's his McLennan records: 32-27, 41-20, 45-12, 52-13, 45-15, 42-17, 19-5. That's COVID. 47-16, 15-13-1. That's their national championship season. No, 47-16 was their national championship season. And then 50-13. Then he accepts the job at Baylor, and they go 20-35, 9th in the Big 12 last year, out of 9.
Yeah, and Lupton said it. Maybe one of those deals. They don't pay anything to baseball for NIL. That could be a big difference, which is just crazy. Baylor Ballpark. It's always been one of my favorite ballparks too.
Yeah. To live in a world in college athletics and to only give out 11.7 scholarships in baseball.
It's crazy.
And then to have 0 NIL. Like that's bad. And that's true too. Why would you choose Baylor over anyone in the Metroplex, Texas or Texas Tech? Yeah, Baylor is just behind the lines here.
And I think that the good thing for TCU too in the Metroplex is that they're really the only show on dirt in the Metroplex, right? Because SMU doesn't have baseball, North Texas doesn't have baseball. They got softball, no baseball. And so every single youngster that's in the Metroplex, if you want to stay home, TCU is a fantastic place to go. Plus, if you look at, and I'll say this, Baylor probably has better facilities as far as the ballpark than Texas Tech. Now, Texas Tech has a great practice facility that they've just built, but Danlaw Field is not. Oh yeah, DBU. My bad, Lupton. I forget about DBU, and DBU is great, and they've recruited well on the DFW. But just 2 baseball programs in the DFW. That's why TCU and DBU have a lot of success. They're in one of the best places to recruit high school baseball in the whole entire country.
SMU should purchase DBU's team.
Yeah, bring them into the ACC with them.
They're so rich they could do it, right?
It's so crazy how DBU is Division II and everything else they do. Baseball, they're Division I, and they do it at such a high level.
It's crazy.
Such a high level. Yeah, pitching-wise for sure.
And
DBU
5,
has gotten a lot better at recruiting.
Yeah. Number 5, TCU hosting Arizona. Unranked Rice hosting number 3, LSU. Number 4, Florida hosting Bethune-Cookman. I don't think they'll be number 4 for much longer.
No, they just got beat by Stetson yesterday.
Number 9, Vanderbilt hosting Evansville. Never been to DBU.
DBU's got a great park. Great park.
Did you see the Georgia Tech kid yesterday or this weekend?
No.
4 ABs. Guess what he did in his 4 ABs?
Hit 4 homers.
Home runs.
It's a Will Stramp day right there.
The call, a little bit underwhelming until you get to the 3rd and 4th ones, but overall, great calls. I'll try to find that video too.
Georgia Tech's got a really cool park too.
Yeah, I don't remember if they were at home or it was Georgia Tech, Georgia Southern. I guess they were probably at home. I think they were wearing white.
Two places that Texas Tech has played regionals in. Georgia Tech and at Georgia Southern now. Yeah. Yeah, Horner Ballpark in Dallas is really cool. They've done a great job at DBU. Lupton's a great facility too. Obviously, Lupton will think that, but it's a great college baseball facility. And I think that's what fans here in Lubbock want too. Like Rip Griffin Park is cool. It's just old and outdated, and you put a facelift to it a few years back, but it just needs to be redone if you want to keep up with all these others, that especially with what Oklahoma State has done, with what Oklahoma is about to do. Of course, they're moving to the SEC. So
yeah, we don't care about that. Georgia Tech's ballpark is awesome because the skyline in the back. They're like downtown.
Yeah, the skyline in the backdrop. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's a lot like Charlotte's minor league ballpark.
Drew Burris, 4 home runs in one day. Freshman, 9 on the season.
Wow. Already 9 in 2 weeks.
Of course, he hit 4 in one day, but
yeah, that'll help.
Yeah.
That'll help.
Lupton's Field, 10 out of 10. The concourse is way outdated. Don't you have I'm trying to think of Lupton. I've never been there, but obviously seen it on TV.
They did just put in some new picnic stuff in the outfields and all that stuff, correct? And then in left center, what did they build in left field? I guess it was the player facility.
Oh.
In left
they don't have
field.
They have seating all the way down the outfield though, right?
Yeah, there's berm seating, I think.
That's one thing I wish. Oh, that's right. That's right.
But at least it's all covered seating too whenever you're in the grandstands for the most part.
I don't mind sitting in the sun for a couple of innings before the sun comes down. I never did.
My skin cancer at 26 would beg to differ with that.
Of course, I always sit on the first baseline. We always get shade before the third baseline.
True. Point.
That top corner in the third baseline is or bottom corner really is brutal until
brutal.
7th inning.
Especially in a regional setting when it's 100 degrees outside.
Yeah, when the game starts at 11.
Yeah. The best regional was the Oklahoma State regional when it rained and cooled off everything every day. Yeah. You were delayed, but it still cooled everything off. Yeah, not enough bath. And Lupton has, there's a lot more fans in that they're letting into the ballpark now too. So the bathroom facilities now, same thing at Danlaw Field. The bathroom facilities, there's one restroom?
2. One behind home plate and one down right field line.
Yep, that's right.
Are there 3?
Right.
Is there one down left field line too?
No, there's not one down the left field line. Unless they built one with
there's one right by the front gate, and then one at the concession stand down right field.
Yeah. I haven't made it out to the park this year. I didn't go to any of the first 3 games. Won't be able to this weekend either.
But. Yeah, I haven't either. I don't have my free tickets anymore.
I can hook you up.
Soon though.
But yeah,
all right, let's anything else? Any other baseball?
No.
All right, this is the Rob Rose Show. We'll be back on Friday.
I won't. You will.
I'll be back on Friday to talk. You got softball?
Yeah.
We're at a tournament. Or what? Oh, a tournament?
Nah, Floydada, the big city.
Floydada. Okay. I'm down. Let's see. Friday to talk. Is it West? I don't remember her playing. Is it West Virginia or Oklahoma State? I think it's West Virginia this weekend.
Basketball? Yeah, West Virginia.
West Virginia. And then you have a week and a half left. You have 2 Saturday matchups and then the Big 12 tournament. Obviously, the Big 12 tournament always that kind of second and a half week of March. I always remember March 13th as the day the show died, man.
The day the show died.
Was it on the 13th or was it the week after? It might have been.
I think it was. We kept doing it for a week, and then the show completely died when everything else did.
But March 13th was Texas Tech in the Big 12 tournament that did not get played.
Yep, fact.
And then we had marble races for 3 weeks.
We did so many different things.
All right. That's all I got. We'll see you on Friday. Carson, I'll see you again on Monday, I guess.
Yep. Peace.